that read, "Rest in pieces." So get a snack for the kids, put the dog out, and grab your favorite beverage. The next Monster Garage Challenge is just around the bend. Join us now as Jesse and his gang of maverick mechanics rip, grind, and burn, transforming ordinary street vehicles into monster machines in the Monster Garage. This week's challenge, take a 1973 Cadillac Hearse and transform it into a four-wheeled car-crushing monster. Leading the team, as always, master monster mechanic Jesse James. Jesse has first-hand knowledge about putting dents on polished steel without the consent of their owners.
That's no problem for me. I actually rammed someone that tried to, take my parking space one time in my girlfriend's car. She was pretty bummed. Hit him. We don't really need to design a custom machine to do that. I got that totally handled.
The rules. When built, the monster machine must appear to be stock. The team can spend no more than $3,000 in hard cash for parts. Jesse and his crew have 7 days and nights. On the first day, they design. For the next 5, they build. And on the 7th day, they race. If successful, they walk away with a $3,400 set of Mac tools. And the clock starts now. The 1973 4,000-pound hearse is wheeled in, kicking and screeching, as it's about to undergo the final transformation. But can Jesse James and his team of monster mechanics breathe new life into a vehicle that carries the dead? Or does the hearse have plans of its own? The design team arrives, boasting Doran Hirschkorn from Bobcat, hearse expert Steve Sturl, and legendary customizer George Barris. A boyhood idol of Jesse's, Barris has spent the last 4 decades creating the coolest cars ever made, like the Duke Boys General Lee, the time-traveling DeLorean from Back to the Future, the haunted hot rod Munster Coach, and the most famous car in the world, the George Barris original Batmobile. The team ascends to the war room, but immediately gets sidetracked.
How many cars do you think you built?
I finally got to about 1,000. I said, it's about time that I quit counting.
My favorite, if they were all sitting there and I had to grab one, I'd take Dragula, because it did do wheelies.
Finally, the design process begins. But what exactly does a fully loaded hearse car crusher look like? And what killer features does it have?
We just got to figure out what attachments we can put in there.
Doran Hirschkorn has been a designing engineer at Bobcat for 5 years, specializing in industrial-grade machinery of mass destruction.
We have like a cutter crusher, just like a big scissor hand that we can come out and chop it up. Kind of like a Jaws of Life type of deal. I think we should put the big drill on it.
Yeah.
You know, it up a screw into the car and not let it get away.
Yeah.
You see that model tombstone?
The demolition equipment will weigh a ton, but luckily the hearse was already built to carry plenty of dead weight.
How much weight do you think we can put on the lift for the casket?
I've been known to put an 800-pound body on a 250-pound casket, no problem.
Steve Sturl, a.k.a. Tombstone, is a prop monster maker and a handyman of horror who works for some of the biggest bloodsuckers in Hollywood.
I was approached for Bela Lugosi's birthday to customize like 7 caskets, you know, with hot rod flames, tiger fur interior. You know, as long as there's people out there that want really wild stuff, you know, I'm willing to build it for them.
Tombstone also knows hearses.
But mind you, when I did buy my car, I stood in my front window of my house and I looked outside and went, damn, I bought a hearse. There's a hearse in my front yard.
But This ain't no flashy Hollywood show hearse. It needs to be a fully functioning death buggy that crushes, chews up, and spits out its own. The plan is to grab and crush the unsuspecting car. First, a large drill auger in the back will jab it like a scorpion. Then 2 bobcat arms with claw shovels will smash the car into pieces. And finally, whatever else the crew can think up will finish the job.
Well, wait a minute. We haven't made a choice of the kind of car we're going to crush.
Anything Japanese.
Anything Japanese.
I'd love to destroy my in-laws' car, you know? You just pull up next to it and just rip it wide open like a can of sardines, you know?
We'll just go out to the airport and drive around in the parking lot. Those people ain't coming back for a while.
What do you think we should call this creepy concoction here?
Grim Ripper. I love the Ripper.
Ripper?
Yeah, I like that.
The hard part's done. All we got to do is the work now.
The design team leaves with a name, a list of attachments, and a plan. Sort of.
I think this design team was kind of a little vague. You know, it's kind of all about George. I would have killed for either one of those when I was a kid. In awe of all the stuff that he's done, it kind of totally shined on the whole, yeah, whatever, we'll get to it. I think we're just going to have to wing it.
Day 2. The first day of the build arrives, along with 5 monster mechanics ready to dance with death. Jesse James, head mechanic and monster maker. Steve Tombstone Sturl, hearse customizing master. Doran Hirschkorn, demolition equipment guru. Jose Gonzalez, hydraulics hellraiser and forklift technician. Tim Conder, hot rod building god. And Bart Grande, automotive systems genius.
I have absolutely no idea what we're going to build. This show's been driving me nuts trying to figure out the hell this is going to be, you know? Oh, yeah.
Jesse reveals the mission to his team.
Basically, we're going to take this hearse and make something that destroys cars. We're going to probably have a couple arms coming out of the back, maybe an auger that like screws in and locks the car so it can't get away. Some rippers that come out of the side, you know, so we can sideswipe some cars. Our basic idea of it is to inflict as much damage as we can, and I think the biggest problem is basically figuring out a way to power it, and 2, figuring out a way for the car to open up so that stuff can be exposed and keep like an element of surprise. All this weight on here, is the suspension going to hold it? Do we have something else that... yeah, they're made to take a lot of weight because, you know, fat people die too. So, you know...
These guys are a team of true free thinkers, and they all want to 86 the auger bit. Monster Garage mantra: never challenge the boss's plan unless you've got a much better idea.
How come no auger?
Auger it would just stop. It wouldn't do anything. It's made for dirt.
We're going to have some kind of clamps on here, rip it open, maybe put one of these teeth on the other end too. Blades, we can even manufacture the blades.
Hook a plasma cutter on the end of one of those arms and just...
So what's the back going to do?
Back up 2 backhoes.
If it's just going to like hit the top of the car, we can just do that with baseball bats.
At Monster Garage, everyone gets a vote, but only Jesse's counts.
There's no reason why we couldn't do it, I guess. So let's go.
With the debate over, the team begins to gut the belly of the beast.
That's our mascot.
The team removes the 500-pound coffin frame, but their actions stir up something spooky and unexpected.
Smells like something died in here.
Well, it's just a car. It's just a car. Nobody died in the car. It's like a UPS truck. You've been packed up. You just got to be delivered.
We need 2 guys. Things have
Thank you.
They use these to open the caskets.
Yep. One side, you lock it, and the other side's got a glass tube that slides in there with the name of the person in the casket. It'll give you the name and the day they died.
And how many souls did this hearse shuttle in its lifetime?
They said this thing hauled over like 10,000 corpses. It's like old death.
As the team excavates, the car's former passengers continue to make their presence known.
Well, it wasn't a regular burn smell, man.
Rotting carcasses or something like that. smelled like. This is kind of bumming me out a little bit. I ain't joking or trying to be on TV or nothing. It's a little.
There's like definitely spirits floating around, man. They're just everywhere.
I think I inhaled some of them.
Tombstone. Huh? You pulling this whole thing out or what?
We might be able to use some of this.
Okay.
The existing coffin rack is not strong enough to support the heavy Bobcat arms. But will removing it awaken even more restless spirits? Non-believer Tombstone is about to find out.
Yeah, muscle that.
The rack refuses to go quietly, so Tombstone grabs the bolt cutters.
Oh, you're bending the handle. Bending the handle.
This is supposed to be straight. This is supposed to be straight.
Ergonomic now.
That's right. You know, it's the spiritual power of the hearse that's magically bending the steel.
To free the rack, the team breaks out the big guns.
Hang on. We got 50 cents. We're going to Vegas.
After half a day of back-breaking work, with pry bars, grinders, and air chisels, the rack is finally exhumed.
I could probably get maybe $200-300 for this, or trade it for a decent casket. It's a shame that we're taking apart a perfectly good hearse. Hearses will sell for like $80,000-$90,000, more than a limousine.
A layer of dried funeral flowers hints at the hearse's haunted history. Jesse does a little house cleaning.
I'm not such a bad guy. I just sucked all that sadness away.
As day 2 comes to a close, the build team has removed the rear platform, the supporting rack, the gas tank, and hopefully any poltergeist still hanging around the hearse. The mood in the garage is upbeat and confident.
Fired up. 5 days? Really? We'll do it in 3.
Between all the people and the skills, that there isn't anything we can't overcome on this project.
Day 3, early morning. The team splits into groups to make the most out of their day. Tombstone, Doran, and Tim head out to the Bobcat burial ground to dig up some lethal attachments.
That bit's going to be about $100.
Hey, now, there we go.
Will it work? Yeah. Perfect. Next time you see these, I'll be going like this.
Auger bits and buckets, and you got backhoe arms. What are you doing?
We're going to go after Saddam Hussein.
Right now we picked up the parts we needed. We got the arms, the auger bit, the auger drive, and a couple of buckets. Cash money.
On the east side of town, Jose and Bart search another heavy equipment graveyard for the hydraulic pumps that will drive the Bobcat arms.
We got a boneyard here. We're gonna pick some bones, man. There's way too many spiders in here. Spiders freak me out. I like the tattoo spider. I don't like spiders, though. Oh, geez, you see the size of that one?
Yes.
The price for 2 abused and overused hydraulic pumps? Nothing. 3 days. 0.
Smash.
But how will they drive the pumps and move the arms?
We need something to drive the pumps. We got the pumps, now we need to spin them. How are we going to spin them?
Why don't we...
Doran has an idea. Use an electric motor.
To run all that stuff off electric motors, you got to have 36-volt motors, man. You got to see the batteries. They're huge, and they weigh 1,500, 2,000 pounds.
What is wrong with mounting the pumps off of the motor?
Bart plans to replace the air conditioner with 2 hydraulic pumps, which will be run by belts that attach to the existing motor. The pumps will drive hydraulic fluid through the hoses that flow to the Bobcat arms in the back. When the correct lever is pushed, the arms will move up and down, flattening the offending car like roadkill.
This is what I do. I can hook up a RPM thing in there in 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
You want to do it?
Yeah, I can do that.
Do it, man.
Bart Grande, automotive systems genius.
I own a dyno shop in Oceanside, California, and what I do is I make horsepower. similar to an athlete on a treadmill. I do that with an automobile. Through the data, I make changes, and then it goes faster and it's happier.
During lunch, the team voices concerns over Bart's plan for the motor system.
Go with me putting the mounts on, go a day with it, and if it doesn't work, go to plan B and run electric. I can guarantee you running off the motor is going to work. Hands down, that'll work, and it'll be up in a day.
And I'm worried about time. I'm going, we got to cut the top. We got to do all the web work.
Time.
I'm sorry. We have to worry about time. Hey, Tim.
With the clock ticking, the team gets back to work.
Everybody's working, so that's a good sign.
Bart is fabricating custom brackets to mount the hydraulic pumps.
I wanted to go with mounting the pumps on the motor of the hearse, and the biggest pain to it is we got to build all of the bracketry. It's the path I chose, so hopefully I made the right choice here.
That's your bracket right there?
Yeah.
What are you going to mount it to?
Dude, the other half of it's right there. This piece.
He's going to weld it there.
Just weld it there. We're done. It's that simple.
I don't think that's going to hold it.
There's no way this thing's going anywhere. Yeah.
I want it to work, man, because I got to connect all this.
Dude, it's called trusting the team.
I'm not saying anything.
What are you doing here then? Sounds like you're saying something.
Go ahead, dude.
He's saying this is taking too long, and he wants to go with the electric pumps. And I'm still fighting that this is the way to go. I'm not concerned at all. It's going to work.
My man here says it's a specialty. I'm backing him up, man. I'm a team player. I tell you what I feel. I tell you what I'm thinking. And some people like it, some people don't, you know. That's just how it is.
Jose Gonzalez, hydraulics hellraiser, master forklift technician, and a California asphalt surfer.
I like to surf, but not really on a surfboard.
The team turns their attention to the steel-reinforced landau roof.
Great big grooves, wide enough for the bucket, right? And the thing just comes right out of the top. I would love to have the roof done before the end of the day.
Tim has an idea that will save time and energy. He runs it by Jesse.
We cut two 13-inch wide grooves in the top. The things would come out of the car like a bug.
Jesse nixes the narrow channels.
With me driving it and operating it, we're going to need some clearance around the arms. Just going out, on a limb. I think the top should be out of the way. Otherwise, something's going to get smashed.
Okay, so you feel like we got time to do it with everything else?
When's Tom going to get here?
Day 3 ends with the roof still on, Bart's 15-minute belt system still unfinished, and a new odor in the air, the foul smell of dissent.
This is a shower, man. See y'all stink.
Will they make it? Are they going to complete the project? Oh, no.
The team starts the day by trying to figure out how to support the roof's weight when it lifts up.
All of that weight will rip that hinge right out of the roof.
The hinges just have to be on the outside of the car, so it actually parts.
I'm still having a hell of a time figuring it out. No comprende.
With the pressure on, Tombstone digs up a distraction.
Hey, Bob. What's up, man? This is Tombstone. I thought it'd be kind of cool if you brought down that little toy of yours. Yeah, you guys, this is my friend Bob from the First Club.
How you doing, bud?
Well, who wants to drive it?
Scared as hell.
After some fun, the team decides it's time to get back to mounting the Bobcat arms in the back. But before they do, they'll need a thick steel plate to give it a solid foundation.
This will come across the back end of the car, and our arm mounts are going to sit one right here and one over
here.
Bart is still working on the bracketry that will hold the pumps in place. It's not as easy as he thought.
What we're going to do is build a substructure, and we're going to mount both pumps and run off the belts where the air conditioner compressor used to be, and these will drive our control valves for all the hydraulics.
Here we are, day 3, and still the pumps are mounted.
I'm waiting on steel. It's coming from Jesse's shop.
Jesse arrives with a custom-tooled steel bracket.
That's sweet. Thank you. That's the baby. Right there.
That looks bitchin'.
Confidence. It'll work.
Could Bart have been a bit too pumped to prime the monster?
Where we're going to get stuck, I can see it right now, is the hydraulics.
I don't think we're behind on the hydraulics if everything works as planned. Holy! Somebody give me an 11/16 socket wrench!
You gotta pull that out, man. Hang on.
Hold still. Oh, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Oh,
You
man.
trying to torque it down or what?
This is what happens when you piss off Jesse James.
The half-inch steel plate, which will support the massive Bobcat arms, is welded into place. Next, they weld the brackets to hold the arms. Then it's time to dry fit the Bobcat arms. First one arm, then the other. The plate supports the bracket and the arms hold. Success.
There you go.
It's been a long day for the build team.
I'm tired.
Before Jesse leaves for the day, he gives his crew one last order. Get the roof off.
Just lighting a fire under everybody's ass. Keep them going, you know? Get this mug done. So I can go home and watch cartoons.
Jesse splits, and the rest of the team jumps on the roof.
Lift it!
It's not going up.
No, it's because it's jamming.
It's heavy, dude.
Look at that.
The roof comes free, but it's much heavier than they thought. After the build team left for the night, a relief crew from Airlift Hydraulics took over. These gravity-defying gods worked all night to install contractible airbags, which will make the hearse bounce up and down, thereby increasing its crushing power.
Obviously, the bags are done in front, bags are done in rear. You're good to go.
Does it work?
Of course it works. What kind of a question is that?
The hearse is waiting. With only 2 days left, the crew reviews the to-do list.
We gotta thin that door out. We gotta lighten that door. We gotta get these brackets welded in, get the arms in.
Jose, you and I really got to get going on these hydraulics.
These pumps got to be mounted. These arms got to be mounted. This roof's got to be reconstructed to be able to hold its weight.
And last night when we first got the roof off, we realized that structure wasn't strong enough. Basically, we didn't think the roof was that heavy. We lost 3 or 4 hours.
The deal with this car is it's like cutting apart a Sherman tank. It took 3 times as long as we thought. It's 3 times as heavy as we thought it was going to be. I mean, the whole car has just been fighting us the whole way.
Tim Conder, hot rod building god.
I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I run a custom shop for the sole purpose of financing my top fuel dragster operation. We're making pistol grip handles for my dragster steering wheel out of a real human skull. How cool is that?
Tim specializes in building custom motorcycles, hot rods, and top fuel dragsters.
The welding skills, the painting skills, the design skills, whatever it takes to build a hot rod or a chopper. I've got to do a little bit of everything.
Raise your hand if you think Tim sounds like Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam!
It's crucial that the team works together as a unit.
It's not as bleak as it was yesterday, but we still got a lot of work to do.
Tombstone gets to work cutting steel braces so that Jesse can make mounts out of them for the hydraulic controller arms. Doran gets the hydraulic controllers ready for installation. Jose removes the old hardware that is deemed too weak to support the 300-pound top, while Tim welds a brace made of 2-inch steel tubing for extra support at the joint. And Bart returns to his hydraulic pump.
Yeah, your 2-hour design, it's been 4 days now.
I've only spent about 2 hours on it. You don't know what they're talking about. You'll see.
Smack talking in the middle of the home stretch may be a sign that the spark within the build team is misfiring. They'll need some pacemaking if they want the monster to live.
It's just labor. We need all these guys to labor together, you know, not stand around and look cool. We need them to work. I ain't got no friends in here. I don't like to miss deadlines, and I don't like to fail.
I'm concerned. It's just like cooking a good dinner, you know? You got to have the steak done the same time the potatoes are done. And to have everything come together at once at the same time is going to be the most important key in this.
Just as the design team appears to be clicking, Jose busts out the butane for a power lunch.
Wait a second, man. Come on. Yeah, that's good. Really good, yeah. Yeah.
Jesse knows that time is running out, and so is his patience. Not a good time for Tombstone to present his handiwork on a hood ornament.
Now I know why you ain't done. I mean, good job, Tombstone.
I had to use a plasma cutter until I got here. It's not bad.
It's like the kid eating paste.
The plan for a retractable auger bit isn't dead yet, but it's certainly on life support. Jesse's prognosis: it's too late to have the monster drill spring out and sting its victim. The auger will have to be mounted in a fixed position.
If we were going to do anything, we probably should have started doing it. So, and now we don't have time. So I think we ain't going to finish that auger, and we ain't going to finish the rippers by tomorrow. There's no way in hell. I mean, we don't even have the crap to lift the top yet. That's why we just got to, like, work together and everybody keep working and try to get some of the stuff finished. We're like three-quarter and everything, you know, get it like sort of started along and not finishing and stuff. So I think we should finish all the stuff we started, then we can worry about starting new stuff, you know.
As day 5 comes to a close, the build team hustles to install the auger drill bit. The top needs to be reattached. The hydraulic pump is still only 90% done. The hoses need to be run, and the control levers installed. Tomorrow is the last day to build, and it's shaping up to be even a dead man's nightmare.
And that's the main concerns right now. Well, even if we're not going to implement the auger, then we got to have both arms kicking and go with some blades or something. We got to have it do something.
Jesse's in the house, and it's day 6, the final build day. With just 16 hours left, the team is still suffering from schizophrenia. Let's work. Let's play. Let's work. Let's play.
Hey, the Grim Ripper! Dragon knuckles, man. Hey, how are you? Good.
With the Reaper madness over, Jesse lays down the law.
All ass on the rest of this stuff?
There's still a lot of items on the build team's to-do list. They have to work fast because there's only 14 hours left. They'll either walk away with a $3,400 set of tools or go down as the first losers ever in the Monster Garage. Jose goes to work, crimping fittings to the ends of the hoses they'll need to drive the hydraulics.
Without this, man, we ain't going nowhere.
Bart and Tombstone cut holes in the hood so the pumps will have room to breathe. The hood closes and the pumps are good to go. Doran and Jose scrounge up a reservoir for the hydraulic fluid.
I'm just going to fabricate it and make it work. Because we're running out of damn time.
We all have a common enemy here, you know? You got a common enemy, everybody bands together. That's what happens when you got a big thing that's bigger than you are, you know?
Bart's pump and pulley system is almost ready to be fired up. The front end of the hearse is looking good, but Jose's rear end is dragging.
Why did I make 2 hoses here?
Hell if I know.
Fatigue is setting in, and Jose is having a hard time keeping the hoses straight.
Where the here? What a dumbass.
I'm not saying a word.
I'm not saying nothing. Now you know we Been here way too long, man. You can't even think straight anymore.
Half the build day is already gone.
It's about 5 o'clock. We've got about 7 hours. 7 hours to work.
The team still has the big ticket items on the list. Get the hydraulics working. Get the top back on.
I know it's going to take all the way until midnight. I know it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind.
Hey, they told you you guys don't give tools if you don't get it done, right?
Yeah, right.
No, I'm serious. We don't reward for failure. I need that hydraulic oil. It's in that bucket.
It's 10 p.m., 2 hours to go. The roof is still off, but the shovel arms and auger are in place. The job is almost done. Time for the final test, getting the hydraulic pumps to power the arms.
It should fire. It should pump. Belt should stay on. Fluid should flow. But I'll duck.
It's the moment of truth. If Bart did his job right, the Grim Ripper will go on to kill its first car.
Go fire it up.
Hey, what happened?
We seized one of the pumps, and I didn't know if we froze it or we slipped it. I just didn't want to find out. It's hot. These don't spin really. These are under pressure right now, yeah.
The engine's running, but the belts are slipping on the pumps.
Turn it on? Yeah.
See?
There's just too much slack in it.
The team makes an 11th hour adjustment and tries again.
Smoke the belt so they fall off.
His belt broke.
They just burned their last belt.
You need a belt? We get a couple belts.
We can find auto parts store later.
It's Midnight Auto, man.
With just an hour to go, Tombstone races to the only auto shop open to buy some new belts.
We gotta go get belts from the auto parts store. The hydraulic pumps keep smoking the belt. It's getting so hot, it's frying the belts.
That's all you got, huh?
The parts store only has 3 belts
Let me
left.
get these 3.
Tombstone buys them all. When he gets back to the garage, he's hoping one of them will fit.
2 that are longer and 1 that's shorter, so that we can use the pulleys and not crank it down so much. And they're a thicker belt, too.
We should have fired it once, checked everything. It's a lot tighter. There's no
With only 20 minutes left, the team gives it another try.
Go to town, man.
Like Frankenstein's monster, the Grim Ripper finally shows signs of life. If only for a brief moment, then one of the hydraulic pumps springs a leak. And they fry another belt.
Another belt? It's cool, though. I mean, it's working. We got to get that belt to quit slipping, otherwise we aren't going to move crash. How many belts do we have?
We got one more for this configuration.
Let's put it on and just full throttle it and see if we can get him to raise up.
With 10 minutes left, Jose and Doran fix the hose leak, and Bart installs their last belt.
We'll never be able to get it on. All right, so...
It's do or die time, and they all know it. The Ripper roars to life, and the hydraulic heart begins pumping blood to the scavenged limbs of the beast. It's alive. But then, disaster. A burning belt on the pump ignites a pool of gasoline in the engine compartment. The team's moment of glory is incinerated by a blast of hellfire.
I was going to grab the tank and run, man.
Is the fire the final nail in the build team's coffin? With no fan belts left, the team still refuses to admit defeat. Is there any other way to turn the pump?
We threw some serious wicked tension at that just now.
Yeah. Well, it works. It works.
That arm shot up like nothing.
Like
boom,
brains.
right up.
We got the right idea. We just got to find a way to keep the belt from slipping.
Put a chain on it.
And just run
Run
the belt off the back pulley?
Keep
A hill
two
bicycle chain would do it.
Let's say we try to run one pump right now. See what happens.
Well, command decision.
You guys want me to BS you, or you want the truth?
Truth.
We didn't do it. This is the one that fails. That's reality. I don't give a damn if we put some billet custom machine pulleys on there and everything. It still ain't done. I obviously didn't drive you guys hard enough and send the message home that you guys can't be screwing around. We didn't do it. We mismanaged our time. Instead of planning and attacking and finishing every task, everything on this whole thing is 3/4 of the way done. I hate losing. I think it sucks, but, you know.
If we'd have had more time, at least about 4 or 5 hours. The only thing that went wrong on this project was the roof.
Have to live with it now, you know? Ain't no turning back the time. Ain't no turning back the time.
Frankie Whiteside on what was supposed to be another Monster Garage challenge. But for those of you who just joined us, episode 9 of Monster Garage ended tragically in failure.
I gotta say, I just never thought this day would come.
But it's here, it's now, it's happened, and the perfect record is
Toast.
a car that provided so many others their last rides, now on its final spin. Frankie, why don't you tell the folks what we do know about today's challenge? I mean, what do we call this?
How about an undertaking?
That works for me, Frank.
There's going to be some kind of funeral procession. After that, nobody knows but Jesse James.
And here he is, behind the wheel of a tow truck. Jesse James is hauling his doomed monster to a final resting place.
The Grim Ripper.
Let's have a moment of silence for our hero and his hearse. You gotta hand it to Jesse. Even in failure, he's brilliant. Terminal Island for a dead hearse. Frank, it looks like the last mile, the last hurrah of a long ride for the Grim Ripper.
Jesse's parked the tow rig under a huge crane, Swag. What's the deal?
I don't know, Frank, but those don't look like the jaws of life to me.
The moon is full and the funeral is about to begin.
Just break it. Yeah, break it, just break it, break it.
Swag, that giant claw is heading right for the hearse. This may get ugly.
Looks like the crane operator is gently easing down that monster claw to pick up the hearse and deliver it to its final resting place.
It sure does, Swag. It's shaping up to be a very distinguished service indeed.
Frank, that hurts! Look at that crane go. Ouch! Now we're talking! Hey, wait a minute, Frank! What's happening? Oh no! He's heading for the auto shredder! It just hit me, Frank. This is no funeral, it's an execution.
Jesse sure doesn't look like he's mourning the loss of a friend there, Swaggy.
You've heard him say it before. He hates failing. And if the head mechanic at the Monster Garage misses a deadline, you can bet he's taking someone down with him, Frank.
That's it, Swag. There's no escape now. The hearse is on the conveyor belt to hell. This vehicle really will be gone in 60 seconds.
But wait a minute, Frank! The Ripper is stuck! Is she too much for the car shredder to swallow?
This car has fought Jesse every step of the way.
The hearse is going nowhere fast. But wait, Frank, they are dropping engine blocks onto the conveyor belt to try and give the Grim Ripper a shove into the abyss.
The grimy mass of motors attacks the hearse like a swarm of satanic killer bees. Look at the smoke rising from the top of that car shredder, Swag.
And Jesse James, fed up with his week-long ordeal with the stubborn Grim Ripper, has turned his back
see that again!
Boom, boom.
Look at that man! He didn't even flinch! Frank, he's got nerves of steel! He's got the mind of Buddha! He's Jesse James!
Just look at the devastation! There is no piece of the Grim Ripper left that's bigger than your fist!
The hearse may be shredded and cremated, but its memory will live on in the mind of Jesse James for a good long time.
Maybe forever!
There's no time for hearses, curses, prayers, or pallbearers. Jesse's got death to cheat, taxes to pay, sparks to fly, metal to burn. The next Monster Garage Challenge is just around the bend. First of the Hearse, Part 2. Failure number 1 team has come back from the dead.
Every time somebody sees me or recognizes me from Monster Garage and says, oh, you were on the losing team.
Everybody is giving you crap about it. How come you failed?
They're here to breathe new life into another old hearse.
I always said if I could ever get a second chance and come out and do it, I would.
So get your fright on. It's trick or treat in the Monster Garage.
I gotta get this car done. I need this monkey off my back.
Join us now as Jesse and his gang of maverick mechanics rip, grind, and burn, transforming ordinary street vehicles into monster machines in the Monster Garage. The challenge, take a 1954 Cadillac Hearse and turn it into a grisly, gruesome gravedigger. New garage, new rules. When built, the monster machine must still appear to be stock. The team will now have $5,000 to spend on parts and be limited to just one freebie. They have 7 days and nights. On the first day, they design. For the next 5, they build. And on the 7th, the Monster Challenge. If successful, they walk away with a $3,400 set of Mac tools. And the clock starts now. The design team rolls up in George Barris's famous monster coach to find the curse of the hearse is alive and well. Somewhere between 54 and 03, this caddy gave up the ghost. The motor and transmission of this little beauty are DOA. Right away, team leader Jesse James tries to steer this project away from the specter of another failure.
I think we need to, refine this build and simplify it a little bit and figure out the elements that are going to make it work and eliminate the stuff that doesn't have anything to do with, building the car,
The first hearse was supposed to be a monster car crusher, tearing the life and soul out of any four-wheeler that got in its way. This time, Jesse's got a grave new idea. Dig we must. Once again, George Barris, the godfather of the custom car and the creator of the Batmobile, is on the design team.
I got a different concept. He's going back to what he really wanted to do. He really wanted to dig the hole and put the casket in instead of having claws come out and butcher up cars.
Holy distraction. The last time George was in the garage, the build team went a bit batty. But this time, Barris vows the outcome will be different.
The challenge is here. Our team is ready to go. We will produce this time. We will not have Grim Ripper #2 in the crusher.
This car's just a shell. We got to do the brakes, motor, trans, wheels, tires, rear suspension. So what we'll do is we'll solid mount the rear like a regular tractor or Bobcat, no suspension. So I want it to dig the hole, push the casket out into the hole, and then put like a snowplow or something on the front. We'll make one kind of cool looking, and that'll come around and push the dirt over. We have the backhoe in the back and the casket in front of it. How are we going to get that out of there?
Returning in hopes of redemption, Doran Hirschkorn is back to right the wrongs of last season's failure.
And when I came out here again, don't fail like you did last time. And, everybody just has to get a dig in and, put salt on the wound. It's been tough, and to come out here and redeem myself a little bit, I'm definitely looking forward to it. To conceal it, we either have to swing it around 180 degrees or have this thing slide out. How far did this go up? Does it go up to 90 degrees?
No. Let's talk about the driving the pump again, since that was a problem last time.
I think I might handle that myself, doing the pump, considering we didn't make it last time.
Yeah, I'll take a look at it.
22s or something to get it high up off the ground.
The failure of Grim Reaper #1 gave birth to the infamous legend known as the Curse of the Hearse. But Tombstone says it's time to lay those superstitions to rest.
People talked about the curse of the Grim Reaper.
This is kind of bumming me out a little bit. I ain't joking or trying to be on TV or nothing. It's a little...
There's like definitely spirits floating around, man.
I don't believe there's a curse. The moral of the story is, don't be overconfident.
We're just looking to put a dead guy in the ground. Dig a hole, dump the casket in, fill the hole back up.
Just a simple hydraulic or something with a pivoted piece of metal.
Mike Desmond, a veteran Monster Garage sketch artist, has concerns about drawing up this mugshot.
As much as we talked about it and worked on it, it seemed like there's still doubt that it might fail. Can't help but think about like how many people have been in and out of that thing. Maybe it would be bad if it did succeed. Jesse's not going to want to hear me say that, but...
How many holes you dug, Jesse?
Me?
Yeah, with the backhoe.
I think I'm digging a hole for myself right now. Having deja vu.
To turn this Cadillac into an abominable burial behemoth will require first installing a new motor and tranny. A coffin launcher will rest behind the driver's seat, and a backhoe and stabilizers must be crammed into the back. A plow will attach to the front bumper to keep the fetid fiends underfoot. Day 2. Enter the League of Extraordinary Losers. This infamous flock of failures is not only the first team in Monster Garage history to miss the 5-day deadline, they are also the only team to get a second chance. This is a team that will rally for redemption.
I think right now, from this moment on, we start fresh. Forget the past is the past, and we just move forward. What we're going to do is dig a hole, put a casket in it, and cover it back up, because the car's a total turd. You know, it's solid body and interior-wise, but the motor, trans, brakes, everything's junk. So I got a cool little hot rod small block and a tranny, so I'll do the motor swap and everything myself. You know, I think that's it. Do I even need to talk to you guys about distractions or any of that stuff? No. Do you remember when George Barris showed up last time with the Batmobile and I was working and didn't stop?
Jesse, what are you doing here?
Trying to weld. Okay.
While Tombstone spills coolant all over the garage, Jose drains the gas tank and can't resist the taste. But anything must be better than the taste of failure.
Hey, it's kind of like moonshine.
Look out!
Anybody got a light?
The broken down old engine is free from the motor mount and ready to be removed.
Here it is.
But it's easier to break out the old power plant than it is to break old habits. Tombstone is busted mingling in the lounge.
Who's watching Tombstone? Someone needs to watch him all the time.
I'm working. I'm working.
Before the build, Doran did some heavy-duty shopping. The builder's buddies deliver a pre-owned Bobcat and bucket to give their monster some bite. The first diabolical distraction devised by the producers is a dude with a killer mullet and a young lady named Crystal.
Hey, girl.
This is Crystal.
Hi, Crystal. You want to help us put this motor in? Hey, Jose, what happened to your tattoos?
You guys are real funny.
How's your shovel head running? Is it still running good? I like that paint.
You see this?
Up high. Down low. Down low. Too slow. Give me a kiss. Thank you.
The monkey swings back to the jungle, and the gorilla builders get back to work.
What's up, Butch?
But if Tombstone can't put his cell phone to rest, Jose is going to go bananas.
It's Butch Patrick, Eddie Munster. What are you doing, Butch?
Come on, dude, let's do something, man.
Man, I'm helping, hold on a second, I'm helping Dorn over here, dude. Just, you know what I'm saying? We go to
Tell you.
redneck cheapos.
And they wonder why things don't get done.
I'm
You don't
answering the
show
phone,
up the
dude.
next day.
And it's day one, we got the in the car.
About that.
You're the one that up last time, so ease up. I'm not one to down anybody else. I'm a team player, and I want to let you know that I'm here to make this thing succeed.
See, all this guy brought was a bunch of prop crap that we don't need here. You know, bring a tool.
Wow.
Dude, man, don't use so much of your brain to do that.
Well, you know, I do work for George Barris. I am a fabricator. I do props.
Really? I'll tell you
Started
what,
it. You're the one that brought out.
if you want.
You're the one that wanted to bring the
we
animosity.
can get any welder here, and we can see who can weld better than you and I.
Hey, you want to bet money on that?
Sure.
You want to put a C note down on that?
I'll put my whole check.
You want to put $100 down? Who can weld better?
I'll put $1,000.
Right now, $100. $1,000?
Sure.
You got $1,000? I got $1,000 in my ATM card and go pull right now.
ATM? Anytime you want to do it.
I was certified by the state of California, bro, as a welder, bro. Okay.
Well, if you guys saw the first show last year, that all explains everything.
Heavy equipment tech Jose Gonzalez thinks that the first time around, he and his teammates were buried alive by the editing staff of Monster Garage.
America didn't see the last episode from our eyes. This is what happens when you piss off Jesse James.
That's right.
Okay, yeah, you're on TV. Get back to work.
This show, they can edit all they want, and all they're going to get is work from me. That's all I can say. I'm pushing people, but that's what it takes to get things done. And I'm on a mission.
The heavy-duty backhoe was so well built, it's proving to be a challenge to rip apart.
As you're cutting through this thing, some of the metal always melts back together,
So they try to pry it apart with a wedge.
It says you got to lock one in.
Dusk falls on day 2, but the build team is haunted by the ghost of failures past. A wise man once said, any day above ground is a good day. With any luck, they'll put that theory to the test tomorrow. Monster Garage factoid. In 15th century England, it was discovered that 4% of people assumed dead were actually buried alive. To stop the accidental burials, one end of a string was tied to the corpse's wrist, the other end to a bell on the surface, giving the deceased one last chance to become a dead ringer. Watch him work. And get work. But now, Day 3. The builders return to find their hearse waiting with open arms. They waste no time jumping headfirst into the belly of the beast.
We got to figure out how to get the car jacked up enough to where at 22, go up in here and bolt it up.
The only way to fit the 22-inch wheels under the 44 Caddy fender skirts is to drop the entire axle, so the solid-mounted rear suspension will bolt in place, so it can be removed to mount the tires.
The goal is by noon, before lunch, to have the rear end to where we can raise and lower it and figure out where we want it to be, so we got to hustle.
The team begins on the solid-mounted rear suspension. First, Jose loses the leaf springs, and Tombstone turns cardboard templates into plate steel axle brackets to give their hearse a stiff ride.
So what we're going to do is, made these brackets, they're going to go here, put a big bolt through it. That way we've got rigid suspension, but when the tires need to come on and off the car, we can pull a big bolt out, drop the whole rear end down, put the wheels on, jack it right back up, put the bolt through it, off you go.
Jesse's got a shortcut for center punching bolt holes in their brackets.
Not used to thinking about these kind of tools.
With the new Scotchman punching and shearing machine, Jesse makes Tim's brackets in about 5 minutes, while the team sheepishly looks on.
Okay, you showed us up. Thanks.
I don't think this is the best bunch of guys skill-wise, but I kind of like this bunch of guys the best, just personality-wise.
These big triangle patterns that I'm making right now, it's going to be a great big bolt that goes through it, and I have to make it strong enough to handle a 6,000-pound Cadillac Hearse and 1,400-pound claw.
Tim Condor builds insane choppers like this bitter tribute to his previous experience in the Monster Garage, made out of a Mac tool set.
You know, I mean, it is a true chopper. You know, it'll kill you. It'll flat put you on the ground, you know, rub you into a greasy spot. But chopper culture, thank God, is never going to get the respect that art culture gets, and it'll be pure forever. And that's a beautiful thing, you know.
As Tim refines the rear suspension brackets, Jesse is brainstorming the coffin launcher.
Flying casket, it's going to sit, I'm going to make this rack, like roll cage thing. So the casket will basically sit in the back door, and we'll do like garage door springs or something, kind of like the Mac tool truck. And you just hit it into the hole and then push the dirt over onto the next corpse.
To lighten the mood and keep their team focused on their tasks, the producers of the show arrange for some motivational music.
Hang on.
As the band makes their exit, some serious progress is made on the disassembly of the backhoe.
Kick it, don't down! Tombstone! Where's that marching band at? We need them back.
The stabilizers are detached, the controls removed, and the backhoe is pulled off the frame. Meanwhile, over at West Coast Choppers, Jesse pulls a motor and transmission from one of his own cars to use in the hearse.
Should be good. It's like a 13-to-1, 327. The Turbo 400.
We have a motor. Jesse comes through. Our goal is to have it in and running by tomorrow night. The hearse will move. I guarantee the car will run. Definitely.
I have a feeling if anything goes wrong, it's going to be that motor, man. And I'm not going to... That's it. That's all I got to say about that one.
The power plant for the hearse is starting to come together, but this team is not.
There's some deja vu going on.
Idiots, man.
You got the education of a glass of water and you're telling me to think? Ignorant son of a... You're so ignorant.
At the end of build day 2, once again, nothing has been completed. Is this team doomed to repeat history?
And I see a lot of time being wasted, man.
Wasted time talking
The motor should have been in by now, plumbed, you know, maybe not all connected, but it should have been in that.
That's what I'm saying.
By now.
There's no way.
How?
I'm going to listen to y'all.
I'm not going to argue, dude. I'm not going to argue, man. I'm not going to
take credit for that. With what they're doing. Look, you're right. No, you're right.
Okay, you're going to piss me off, man. I'm going to work.
Okay.
It will run today. It will run before I go home. It will run before I go home.
You got out there, you got to understand that we're all working as a team here. Well, we
are not.
Oh, I know.
You might live in the illusion that we're a
let's
team.
create the facade that we're a team.
Trying to make the dysfunctional functional is high-tech guru Bart Grandy.
This is not what I see as teamwork. Teamwork to me is complete support. There's no positive reinforcement here at all. None. Do not treat people the way we treat each other. It's not healthy.
Doran prepares the backhoe frame for mounting in the rear of the hearse. The rear axle is ready to roll, and just in time because a brand new set of 22s roll into the garage, courtesy of the master fabricator. 6-0, nada. Bigger wheels call for bigger lug bolts. They'll need to break down the axle hub, but after 50 years of decay, the brake drums are frozen stiff.
This brake drum on this Cadillac's being ornery. We got to get it off so we can put some longer wheel studs on it so they don't break off.
Tim wants to pull the hub off with the forklift, but it could destroy the rear end. So subtler methods are employed first.
We got to get these longer wheel studs on here to make it Jesse-proof. It's going to weigh about as much as a small office building in downtown Long Beach. Sometimes you'll spend a whole day working on something you didn't even know was wrong. It's just hot rodding, man. It's just the way it is.
Tim tries Bart's method with excellent results.
Bar some in.
Finally, the brake drum and hub come apart so bigger lugs can be installed.
Oh.
At last, the rear end is ready to be buttoned up. The wheels are installed, then the axle is bolted on to the new solid suspension.
Training's in. We ready to slide. Okay.
Jesse and Bart cram the motor into place without too much unexpected difficulty.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make a cross member for the tranny. Air goes here, gas goes here, water goes here. That's it. The end.
As if threatened by the progress in the front of the hearse, Team Rear installs the controls for the backhoe.
Is he cutting up or down? Coming up!
The hydraulic controls are hung by the coffin with care. Now it's time to mount the massive backhoe frame.
Somebody push this inside. How high is this supposed to sit? Oh, to that? Okay. There's your straight line right there. That's on your line. See that? Here.
Is it?
Yeah, look.
God damn, I did that well.
Dude, you're perfect, man. You're the damn engineer, dog.
That doesn't mean much.
Practical application engineer.
Does that mean?
That's a good guy.
Oh.
Apparently, Dorn measured twice and cut once, cause it's a perfect fit. So Jose welds it into place. As a reward for their hard work, the producers treat the build team to a field trip down memory lane. As the team exits the car, they realize that they're at the scene of the last hearse's ultimate demise, the dreaded crusher. Suddenly, a huge steel claw rises from the wreckage and sinks its hardened talons into their ride.
Are you kidding me?
This one won't die.
With the grim reminder of Grim Reaper 1 ringing in their ears, the bell tolls on day 4, and it's a goner. They have 2 build days left to make their monster roar. Will they walk out with tools?
We don't reward for failure.
Or walk out as fools? A chance that this team will rise like a phoenix from the ashes of defeat.
I don't think there's any reason why we couldn't finish this today. To be honest with you. There's no way.
When you say you're going to get done early?
No, there's no way why this shouldn't be done today.
Finished plumbing will be tomorrow, but I think...
But today, it should be operating today. It should. There's no reason why it shouldn't be operating today.
I'm with you, man.
The first order of business is to install the stabilizers, which will plant the hearse in one spot, while the backhoe digs a 6-foot hole. Tombstone installs the starter as Bart continues dialing in the motor, and a fuel cell arrives to help them finish that task. A major problem in the previous build was the mounting of the hydraulic pumps.
Hey, what happened?
We seized one of the pumps.
Will it work this time?
Yeah, because I'm doing it.
Is that cool? Yeah.
In addition to a Jesse-proof mounting bracket, the new pump will run a thicker belt, so the team won't burn this one up.
The good part is if it doesn't, I think we'll have enough time to piss with it. Concentrate on the back. I'll get this to work. All right. Because we still got a little stuff to do back there.
While Tim dials in the backhoe structure, Doran bores out a beer keg that will become the hydraulic fluids reservoir. Halfway through the build, the specter of doubt appears in the monster garage.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little bit nervous. You know? I really don't want to fail twice in a row, though. Even if it would prove a point that some people were born without a work ethic. I've had a lot of employees over the years, and like when I see someone and they're like all like this, and then you see me look at them, they go like, oh, I'm working.
Hey, who am I?
Wait, you gotta get your... Here, man, get on the phone pretending like you're talking.
They fired Jesse. I'm the new star. And I know George Barris and Eddie Munster's going to be down here at 2.
9/16, though. Very careful with those threads.
Tombstone drops his phone and picks up the thermostat housing. Somehow, he gets himself into hot water anyway.
I might have stripped this thing out. But Tombstone just stripped the manifold for the thermostat. Oh man, it just keeps getting better and better. Tombstone, don't touch any more tools from now on. Remember when I said earlier that I really like these guys and they're a great bunch of guys? But that all went to now. I can't stand all of them.
A new and vital piece for their monster puzzle has arrived. A custom-made drive shaft from Driveline Inc.
It'll bring it closer, huh?
The custom-tailored drive shaft is a perfect fit.
All right.
To avoid running behind, they need to start running hydraulic hoses. Instead, Bart and Jose start running their mouths.
You got it?
I got it.
All right. Go f yourself.
Stay focused on what you're working on.
Okay, so... I forgot this is your project.
I'm not talking
This is all of our project, not just yours.
Dude,
it's everybody's.
Dude,
it's 5 people working on one thing.
There and picking on what
All
you're
right?
doing. Just
If
stick
you-
with
if you-
what you're doing.
Cut it down.
If I need it, I'll ask for it. It's that simple.
Exactly, like the frickin' pump didn't work last time, right? Because you could do it in 15 minutes. Idiot.
They take a break from bickering to start the install of their 1,400-pound monster grave-digging backhoe.
Count 3, push, and I'm gonna smack it.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Nothing?
Yeah, it's in.
We just get this cherry picked and put it on up.
Jose attaches the hydraulic lines to the pump.
And this is what failed us last time.
They tap their keg and top it off with hydraulic fluid. It's just about party time. The motor will run the pump with the belt off a pulley. While spinning at 3,000 RPMs, the pump will draw hydraulic fluid from the beer keg reservoir and pump it into the actuators on the backhoe arm. But since the pump runs off the motor, they can't test any hydraulics until the motor is running.
How far away? What else we need to fire this thing up?
Nothing. To fire just the motor.
Let's light it and see what it sounds like.
All right, hit it.
Wait.
The hearse refuses to come to life, and it begins bleeding out its 1040 weight life's blood.
Where's that oil coming from?
That's for your oil pressure sender.
Okay, we got oil pressure.
Jesse removes the valve covers to get a better look at what the motor's doing.
Hit the ignition, see what happens. They're moving, it's got spark. They wouldn't be moving if it had a broken timing chain.
Pop this piece open.
To cross-check the firing order on their small block, they bust open a brand new Jegs motor and trace the plug wires from the distributor to each cylinder.
These are swapped.
Switch it, see if it fires.
That was first. This one should have been second.
The second's done, dude.
Wait, slow down. Where's this? Wait, work with me a second. This is the first one, which is here. Our next one should be right there.
Which is where it's going. So
all the way to there?
That's it. We're off on 2.
2 were swapped. Okay.
2 and 8 were backwards.
Can't imagine
but I mean,
couldn't imagine that not making it run.
The problem could be as simple as having their plug wires crossed. Or it could be that their 327 small block has given up the ghost.
this motor, man. This, yank it.
The producers still owe this team one freebie, so they decide to trade in their used motor for a brand new power plant from Jegs. For the first time in the build, the team performs as a team to perform a heart transplant on the hearse. The finger pointing finally stops because all hands are busy with the motor swap.
Ready?
Yep.
Hey, look at that. We got electronic choke, man. There it is.
That's so we don't forget to fix that.
Monster garage.
Try that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're good. We're good. Try to fire it up, dude.
Better than before.
The new motor won't fire.
No, it's getting plenty of fuel, dude.
Sounds retarded.
Well,
you know what?
What?
I'd like to pull the number 1 plug out, put my thumb over it, crank it over till it pops off.
And then
basic
put that where it
number 1
goes.
will be right.
I'm down with that, dude. Go ahead. Boom. Bingo. It was 180 out.
Put your face by the pipe and see.
Jose flops the distributor 180 degrees.
Fire it up, dude.
The motor finally fires, and Jesse's confidence in his team is somewhat restored. The beleaguered team leaves the garage with a message to all mankind. Treat every day like it's your last. Place your bets, Monster fans. Will the builders begin to breathe new life into their Grim Ripper and resuscitate their reputations? Or will the curse of the hearse send them home with toe tags instead of tools?
Put it on, you started
The
it.
Grim Rippers treated Day 5 like it was their last, but today really is their last. It's time to get the monkey off their backs.
It's good you guys are all getting along first thing this morning.
Bart hooks up the radiator while Jesse torches the springs in the front suspension to lower the front end of the hearse.
All right.
Now that the motor has a radiator and coolant, they can run it long enough to finally test the hydraulics. As Doran manipulates the controls, the huge backhoe awakes and begins clawing at the air like a resurrected dinosaur. The stabilizers rise and lower, and except for a little leakage, the backhoe works perfectly. Feeling that redemption is within reach, the team attaches the bucket to the Bobcat arm. Though the team has their first whiff of victory, they are far from finished. Now it's time to figure out how to dispose of the body.
I was thinking that the casket's going to run inside the angle iron. It will.
No, they're already up.
Hey, Doran.
Yeah.
What size is that thing?
28 inches inside.
The plan is quite simple. Using the original rollers from the bed of the hearse, the team will build the casket track, which will be powered by bungee cords and released by a motocross starter gate.
Because this is
I wouldn't count on that being right.
You know what, man? It's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna shoot the casket.
Get it. We got a whole pile of bungee cords down here.
Are you scared?
We got the bungee cords in there, strap around the casket, push it back in, put the gate up, put the pin inside, come over here. Jesse digs the hole, puts the bucket over to the side, pull the pin out. How's that for you?
A couple of coffins arrive in time to execute the plan.
Celebrate Sante, Sante, celebrate.
Hey. Wait.
Oh man, look how it looks through the windows. That's kind of creepy. I don't know. That's creepy.
That's perfect, dude.
Services will be concluded by the actual burial of the dead, but no one has put any thought into how to build a plow on the front of the hearse.
And all we need is a scraper just to scrape the dirt back in. Watch it.
With just 6 hours left to build, Jesse sends Jose and Tombstone to the scrapyard to dig up a suitable dozer blade.
Wow.
Then he sets his sights and his torch on a creepy custom exhaust. But by the time he's finished, the hood will need a little trim to accommodate his creation.
We got a caddy in front, yep.
Bart is working on a pet project that wasn't even part of the design.
I'm giving this thing cruise control. You pull a little throttle lever, pulls the throttle pedal in, sets right there. We can hold it like 3,000 RPMs.
Bart's cruise control will allow Jesse to leave the driver's seat and operate the backhoe himself.
If not, it's a two-person job. This allows it to be one-person job.
At the scrapyard, Jose and Tombstone have searched the mammoth mound of metal and unearthed the perfect pipe for their scraper blade. Next, the team has to figure out how to mount it. With the body embalmed, the brakes bled, and the gas tank filled, it's time to bury this project once and for all. As the sun sets on the last build day, the team finds that all the components of the death-dealing gravedigger are alive and well.
You see that exhaust? How's that feel?
The infamous Grim Ripper team is finally redeemed.
Bart!
Yeah! See? These guys would have did what I said all along.
This time, the crew had a very different experience at the end of the week. And they even get their tools like real builders.
That's it. Yeah. You did it. Dig in. Mac tools. Oh, his leg burned off.
They're all melted.
Mike LaValle of Killer Paint in Snoqualmie, Washington, leaves the original oxidized finish of the hearse for the base. He then adds a Grim Reaper, which extends his ghostly grip all the way down to the backhoe.
Log on to Discovery.com for up-to-the-minute insight on innovative new ideas developed by the scientific community. Whether it's out of this world or completely down to earth, it's all right here on the Discovery.
And look at that Corvette.
Yeah.